Well, welcome back to the Substack. I wanted to highlight a few things from an essay that was just published, one of my essays that was just published in Church and State magazine by Americans United. And they've published a few of my essays over the last few years. And this was something I was been thinking about for a long time, maybe since high school years. And you could probably tell that was a long time ago for me, but the question that I raise is, should the Bible be taught in public schools? And this kind of drives people nuts. I mean, whether you're a secular person or a strong believer, people wonder what that means. I mean, how are you going to do that? And what does it mean to teach the Bible? And why should the Bible be taught in a public school in the first place? So I talk about those things in the article, and I just wanted to highlight a few things. Something I have quoted there already just says the Bible has always been in public schools. We carried the Bible in our backpacks and our pockets when I was in school, and I took a class, as it says, as you can read there. I took a class on the Bible as literature in my public high school, and it actually went pretty well. And here's what I say in the essay, and then you can read it for yourself and let me know what you think. A high school classmate posted the news that one of our beloved teachers had died, Mr. Hansen. And he was an English teacher with long hair and a beard. This was the 1970s, after all. I took a couple classes from him on poetry and a few things. And I took this class because I really wanted to learn more about the Bible. I was deep into it at that time as an evangelical kid, a campus crusader sort of a kid. You could say I was a fervent believer at that point, born again, Pentecostal, evangelical, all those good things. So I loved the Bible. I really wanted to dig into it more. So this was in public school, this Bible as literature class, and I thought, well, this is great. Mr. Hansen was a good teacher, and he really presented the Bible in a way that was literature. Let's read the poetry, the poetic parts. Let's read the historical parts. Let's read just some good stories, narratives. He may have used the word legends and myths at times. I don't think he did, because he knew that would get him in trouble. But we challenged him, some of us, but it was okay. I didn't want to rewrite the story of Genesis, which is one of the assignments. So I didn't do it, and he said, that's fine. He said, just write your own thoughts on the two stories of creation in Genesis, and that was no big deal. So here's what I say. My fragile faith was satisfied with that assignment, and the rest of the class held my interest as we approached the Bible with the dramatic stories and poetic passages I mentioned. There was no pressure to believe what we were reading. That makes a difference. Only an encouragement that Mr. Hansen gave us to consider the literary value of the Bible. So my question remains, should the Bible be taught in public school at all? Because who can teach it? Who are the other Mr. Hansens out there? What's the intent? I really do, with a lot of people, I share a deep concern about this, but I think my experience in high school, as well as college and seminary later, offers a potential pathway to a wise educational opportunity. Firm supporters of separation might even lead the way forward on this kind of radical approach to religious literature as well as religious literacy. That's what I'm concerned about, is religious literacy. A capable teacher could begin an elective course by simply having students read selected passages and discuss them and respectfully share different viewpoints. Encourage them to ask honest questions. Present the literary aspects of the book. But here's where I say, go down in the article a little bit, and here's something else I say. This is the missing part that I would urge people to consider, urge educators to consider. Yes, Teach the Bible as a book, as a piece of literature from history, the text, and discuss that. But the Bible is one among many sacred texts around the world. So what I would suggest is not an exclusive Bible as literature course, but really more sacred literature course, maybe. Call it something else. I've taught courses like this, adult education courses in congregations that actually read parts of the biblical text, but also parts of the Gita and the Quran and the Tao and the Analects and the Dhammapada. And don't worry if you don't know those, because that's why I'm saying we need to teach those classes. We need to know what these different books are about. We don't have to believe them as believers in those religions. We just need to take them seriously to learn more about our world. And something else I say here in my essay that you can read later is that I think that classes, it's so much better to teach by personal experience, right? To meet people who actually maybe follow the teachings of those sacred books. So I would add something else. I would say invite representatives from various faith communities to come and speak, and maybe even make some field trips and go see some of these people, meet them, be in a temple and a synagogue and various places, a mosque, and various kinds of churches, whatever, to understand better, to meet the people. Doesn't have to be scary. Even a fervent believer, fervent Christian can still go learn, right, about other traditions and other people in their community. I think that'd be great, be wonderful. So that's really what I talk about in this, and I end by talking about the real challenge that I know you're burning to say to me. Say, Chris, who's going to teach like this? Who can do it? Maybe you can, but who else could do this? Well, I'm not sure at this point if I really could do that in a high school setting, or even a middle school setting, or a college setting, maybe. I think I could, to an extent. I think people can. I think someone who's well read in some of this literature and has read up, studied a little bit about world religions can pass along this. And it's really a human story, isn't it? Of people's beliefs and relations with the ultimate, whatever you call that. And why not teach that? Why not teach that? Social studies, history, even the poetry, even literature, English literature, world literature. It fits, it can work. And so that's what I talk about in this piece in Church and State. And the link is there, and take a look if you want to. And I'd be very curious what you think about it, whether you think it's even possible to do this, and if it's worth it. So thanks for listening and for reading, and I'll hear from you. Take it easy.